This episode of the What's Happening Delco podcast is sponsored by Delco Meets for Business. Check us out on Meetup at Delco Meets, the number 4 business, and attend one of our incredible networking events. Be sure to register, and we'll see you there. What's happening, Delco? I'm Rich Shane, and welcome to the What's Happening Delco podcast. Today, I'm joined by Nikita Mahon of Full Living Wellness. Nikita, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Rich. You have a great intro voice.
Nikita, what is Full Living Wellness?
Full Living Wellness is a private practice, a dream mission of myself and my co-founder, Ashleigh Persico. We offer telehealth services here in Pennsylvania, as well as New Jersey, California, and Florida. And those services include individual, couples, family therapy, as well as group and parenting coaching.
How did all that get started for you?
Years ago, I worked in community behavioral health in Philadelphia, which is where I met my co-founder, Ashleigh Persico. And we decided that there's a lot of different hats you can wear as a therapist and as a healer. A lot of that work happens in the room with the people that you're working with. But being a business owner is a lot more community centered. It involves a lot of other skill sets that we were just very excited to dive into and include within our arsenal and our daily lived life. So that's what led to Full Living Wellness over time.
You talk about having a partner, and there are day-to-day roles, there are responsibilities. How do you bring about those where you help your clients at Full Living Wellness? How do you deviate, or where are your strong suits and strengths?
Our strong suits. I think relationship is the first word that I think of. A lot of people, when they ask me, like, what's it like to be a therapist? That's how I like to define it. It's about holding relationship and space with people. And especially in this day and age, we have so much connection happening. And at the same time, people can feel very isolated and alone. I think that's what leads to like your podcast, a lot of the networking events that I know you lead in, and I'm always searching for myself.
You talk about therapy, you talk about connection, you talk about helping people. How did this come to you, and where did it become your passion to help and really impact people in their lives?
I think that it's a certain kind of a magic. I had an experience at a very young age of just recognizing that conversation and being with one another, being witnessed, knowing that we're not alone in our hardships is life changing. And that became kind of an easy answer for me. If that's how I get to spend my life and especially pay my bills, that's the best thing. Other than that, maybe food or something with dogs would be the other best thing. But yeah, I can't think of anything better that I would want to do with my life. And I know that that's how the other therapists that I work with at Full Living Wellness feel as well.
What can people expect when they work with Full Living Wellness? What can your clients expect when they come on board?
Yes. So the four of us, the first word I think of for the four of us is the heart. You're getting all of our heart. We are therapists that are constantly pursuing our own growth and development. We also really work to tailor our services to anybody that we are working with and meeting with. Again, going back to that idea of relationships, finding a good therapist sometimes can feel a little bit like finding a best friend. There's that right connection, there's a certain sense of trust, and then you also need somebody that does have the experience and the skill set to match whatever goals it is that you have to help you get there.
I'm hearing the podcast right now, and I'm thinking to myself, well, first of all, Nikita, you sound like a really nice person and somebody I can talk to. How do I recognize, or what are the things I should be thinking about that this could be a good situation, whether it's with you or your other partners in your with your other partners in your practice? What should I
Yes.
be thinking about? What should I be looking for?
Great question. I think going in with an idea of what kind of goals you want to have is a great one, just so that way if there's a specific thing that you want to work towards, say, for instance, if it's binge eating or being an athlete, that's something that I like to specialize in. My co-founder, Ashleigh, specializes in body connection and somatic work and working with anxiety or OCD. Or if you are looking to develop parenting skills, Kelsey would be a great person to seek out for those services. And Danny alongside with that would be a great person if you are looking for transitions or working with older adults. Phenomenal options within all of us. Um, Take me back to your question at the beginning there, Rich. I feel like I missed the main point of it.
I think you really touched on and you answered it very succinctly. The idea is, hey, I mean, you said binge eating, right? And When does the mindset become, wait a second, I need to put down this big tub of cookies, to this is more of an issue or something I should be more aware of myself, to why am I doing that? What is
Right.
the, all those things that either the light bulb or that switch clicks to say, this is something I need to talk to somebody about.
Yes, to be a little bit curious about why am I doing that? What is that? And especially if you're not feeling good about something. I mean, if you're loving the cookies and it feels good for you and you're enjoying them, go ahead, go to town. But if you're experiencing that and going, oh, this doesn't feel good, I'm not liking the way I'm treating myself, absolutely be curious about that. And you don't have to be curious about it alone. You can seek somebody out. You can, again, know you are not alone in that. There are tons of people that experience these things as well. And if you reach out, you'll get the support that you need to overcome those.
Nikita, you just said something I've never heard anybody say before. Anybody who I work with or I talk to who's a therapist or in the field that you and your partners are in, but be curious. That
Ah,
level of curiosity about ourselves. And I think that transfers to where we are as a society, that we may have curiosities about people, but
mm,
we're not able to communicate those. We're not able to really understand that that's okay. That to know somebody is to get into a deeper level, and there may be apprehensions, but for ourselves, that curiosity, that self curiosity, how do you unlock that? How do you really say, you know what? This is something that we are going to expand, and you are going to really learn the inner workings of who you are.
yeah. I think you're highlighting something really beautiful about the therapeutic relationship, and something that comes very easily to me is that when I meet with somebody, I really look to their strengths and the things that I admire about them. And I think that that is very empowering to people when they're coming into therapy, to start that curiosity for themselves. There's so much shame, and when we're talking about things like binge eating, or looking at behaviors that maybe don't feel good or we're not liking, we can first answer those with shame of why can't I just stop, or that's so embarrassing. Having that therapeutic relationship to help you be curious about that and to point out the strengths of that, of maybe you're a little isolated alone, maybe you don't have other tools. It doesn't mean you're not capable of having the other tools. You just maybe need another idea, some guidance in a different direction. And that's exactly what therapy can do.
Full living wellness sounds to me like your aim and goal is to help people live their best life. And in this day and age, we have so much of that technology, that
Yes.
social media. Everything is a comparison to what we think we are supposed to be, to what is reality. Is
Mm.
that something that comes into play? You talk about that shaming and the things that we may see ourselves as or react to a way. Is that really something that you're finding in your practice as you speak to people?
Absolutely. Especially, that the session room is so unique in that you can be anything and bring anything you want into that space. It's completely protected, private. It's just for you. And so a lot of when I think of technology, I think of social media as probably one of the first things I correlate to that. And so much of that is about presentation and how we choose to present and what we're choosing to bring there. And we don't always feel safe bringing the places where we don't understand about ourselves or we have shame about ourselves. We're usually highlighting the really good things about our lives on social media. And so therapy can be the place to be curious about all the other stuff that maybe you don't know if you want to share with other people, or you don't know enough about yourself to share with other people yet.
Change, self discovery, even for you, that could be inspirational. That could certainly be motivational. And in your world, who inspires you? Who motivates you, Nikita?
It's absolutely my clients. It's funny. I was just talking about this at a social event that we hosted on Friday. Of a lot of people think of the therapy relationship as everything that the clients get out of services, of course, but so much of it is also what therapists get out of it. I meet with hundreds, thousands of people. Especially, I'm 10 years into my practice at this point. I've met thousands of people. I get huge confirmation of we are not alone in this. We all share so many hardships and similarities, and also, we are endlessly capable of changing, developing, growing, despite the age, despite the hardship. So that's a huge gift that I get from being able to be a therapist.
Continuing learning, continuing education,
Mm.
lifelong learning, however you want to frame that. What's that process look like for you?
Constantly reading, lots of podcasts listening. I think the most helpful thing is challenging myself. I like to say, if anything makes me fearful, get curious about that thing. That's a quote from Wayne Dyer, who's always very much inspired me. Um, and so if something gets me nervous, afraid, or just feels uncomfortable, I try to put myself out there and do that thing. And that's definitely something I ask a lot of my clients as well.
Nikita, how do people connect with you? How do they reach out and start this dialogue and utilize that curiosity that you help to light that match for, that flame for?
Absolutely. Thanks so much for asking, Rich. Anybody can find us at our website, which is fulllivingwellness.com. We also have an Instagram for both the business as well as the podcast page. Those pages are Full Living Wellness Therapy and Friends Living Well Pod. I also want to give a quick shout out to two places that you can pretty much always find me at that are huge in my own self-care and my own mental health. I train jiu-jitsu under Matt Kelly at the Vault in Morton, and I also lift and train at the Hometown Gym, also in Morton under Sam. So you can find me there at least a few times a week. If anybody's ever interested in those things, I highly recommend both of those establishments.
All right, you glossed over this podcast a little bit. And as we are on the What's Happening Delco podcast, we love supporting other podcasts and learning more deeply about what people do, as well as how they help people, and just provide that entertainment, that listening opportunity for people to learn more. What's that podcast? Talk a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. So Friends Living Well is a production from Full Living Wellness. We wanted to have an opportunity to transparently show who we are as therapists. It's myself and my best friend, Kelsey Hunter, who's a BCBA and also a staff member of Full Living Wellness. All of the staff members are on, so you can catch episodes with them and get to know each of us. We bring on tons of different guests. This week, we'll be having Sully Menendez on community leadership and Aaron Valente on marriage and relationships.
Nikita, you're out and about in Delco and you have a cheesesteak craving. Where are you going for your cheesesteak?
Oh, I'm going to name one that probably has not been mentioned yet. That's a little closer to where I live currently, and that is Best Quality Pizza here in Clifton Heights. They make an awesome pizza and an awesome cheesesteak. Some pretty
All
good
right.
ones,
Well,
too.
yeah, I would say shout out to them. They've never been mentioned on the podcast. I think I already know the answer. You're getting your cheesesteak there? Are you getting your pizza there as well?
I'm getting my pizza there as well, and I'm going to go with pepperoni and hot honey as a topping.
All right. You jumped my question there, Nikita.
Taff, taff. Taff, taff. Taff, taff. Taff treats. Get some.
This portion of the podcast is sponsored by Taft Treats. Taft Treats makes some amazing freeze-dried delicacies. Now they're doing soft serve ice cream. So check out their website, tafttreats.com, to see where you can get all of those amazing items that they make and where you might be able to get that soft serve ice cream cart. And what they wanted to know, what you've already answered is, what do you like on your pizza? So they already know, and they're so happy to know this now.
But I would love some of that soft serve to follow up, especially with this little bit of a heat wave we've got going on.
You're out and about in Delco and you have a convenience store need. Where are you stopping? Wawa, Royal Farms, or Sheetz?
Not a question, Wawa.
How do you describe Delco to someone who's never been here or has not lived here before?
Oh, wow. That's a good one and a hard one. We have a very strong culture here. And I might not be right in this, but my impression is that I went to school away in Shippensburg, so I was a couple hours away. And my impression of a lot of other towns and areas is that a lot of people tend to move away. My impression of Delco is that a lot of us tend to stay here, which I think is why the culture then becomes so strong. People are very proud to be from here. They're very proud to talk about Delco and their favorite things within it, and that this is where they're from. I myself am from Media, everybody's hometown. And yeah, I love it here. Even when I went away, I missed it greatly, and I was so glad to come back.
You have friends or family coming in from out of town and you want to give them to or take them to that Delco experience. Where are you going? Where are you sending them? What's going to be on the agenda?
I'm going to be taking them to my favorite place to eat first, which is Station Tap over in Drexel Hill. Especially with the nice weather, they've got that little bit of a patio area you can sit out, get a great draft beer there too. But otherwise, I'm of course going to Media. It's nice weather. Dining Under the Stars is coming up. That's probably, if I can tag a little bit of an event that we have coming up actually at Nimble Craft on June 24th during Dining Under the Stars. We have an event for couples to come and do an activity together for them to reflect and grow and connect. So that's probably where I would tell people to go for. If you are not familiar with Delco, that would be a great night. Come and get Dining Under the Stars and go to Nimble Craft for that event.
And can they find that event on your socials or your website?
They absolutely can.
Fun. Nikita, is there anything we haven't spoken about today on the podcast? Anything you want listeners to know more about you or more about Full Living Wellness?
Just, I hope that if you have any questions, come check us out. Even if we are not the right ones to provide services for you, we welcome anybody asking us questions or asking us for help connecting to other services.
Nikita, thank you to you and your team for all that you do in Delco, allowing us to be curious about ourselves and finding a path to creating our best selves, taking the passion that you've always had inside of you and really help that person become the person they want to be. Can't wait to see you out and about in Delco. Can't wait to see you on June 24th, was it?
Yes, it is.
At Dining Under the Stars and Nimble Craft. Thank you for being a friend of what's happening in Delco, and we appreciate your time today.
Thanks so much for having me on.
The Taft Treats jingle was written, directed, and recorded by Vincent James of Keep Music Alive. Visit keepmusicalive.org to check out their mission, their events, and how you can get involved. Hey, it's Rich. Thank you so much for being a listener to the What's Happening Delco podcast. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to learn more about the people and businesses in our community. I have been a real estate agent for over 25 years, working with first-time home buyers to last-time home sellers. As a listener of the podcast, my gift to you is a complimentary 1-year American Home Shield home warranty. This is for buyers and sellers that I help. If you're looking to move anywhere in the United States, I have you covered with an amazing network of real estate agents. I look forward to hearing from you. My direct line is 215-313-3777, or you can email me at rshaneremax@comcast.net. Oh, by the way, I am never too busy for any of your referrals.